just because I know you've missed him, just because you love him, you can't get enough. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 14 of Batwoman. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ah, Jesus Christ, here we go. Oh.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
So this episode of Batwoman, Grinning Ear to Ear, Season 1, Episode 14. Welcome back to the place to be, Reviews. I'm Etep right here with all of yous, and we start this week's stunning and brave episode on International Women's Day with a young woman applying makeup. It's apparent she's got some issues. She sees herself in the mirror's reflection, and it's almost reminiscent of a half-melted candle, or, as I like to say, Cardi B. And she cuts her face for some damn reason. I don't know why. Oh, we'll find out later. Don't you worry. Sophie and Mary run into each other at a coffee shop, and small talk ensues. Now, Sophie compliments Mary on her boots, or the other way around. Who fucking knows? The dialogue in this entire series makes me feel like I'm in the basement of the pawn shop in Pulp Fiction.
Well, bring out the gimp.
I think the gimp's sleeping.
Well, I guess you just have to go wake him up now, won't you?
Mary comments that Sophie seems happy considering her suspension from work. Mary deduces that she's sleeping with someone, but finally Sophie tells her that Batwoman planted one on her. Kate, or as Sophie gets the text from Batwoman, asking to meet her at her place later. Mary tells Sophie she's happy for her as Sophie leaves. This fucking scene made me feel like the guy in Scanners. Meanwhile, across town, Luke and Kate are having the exact same conversation. That Kate seems extra happy, which is kind of fucked up considering she just lost Multiverse Beth. Her father was wrongfully imprisoned for being framed by a skin mask wearing voice impersonating weirdo called Mouse. But what the hell, right? Because we're back on the road with our representation points. Oddly enough, that Kate and Luke are having the same conversation still, then it comes out that Batwoman kissed Sophie. Luke asks if Sophie knows who Batwoman is, and Luke tells her that this is why Bruce fought so hard to keep his identity a secret. We join Alice as she's embroiled in story time with the Wonderland Gang, and apparently she doesn't like the line that calls her the deranged leader of the Wonderland Gang. Rachel Scarston really plays up the crazy here, and a henchman returns with a picture of Mouse's dad in disguise as the psychiatrist Dr. Campbell, because Alice is obviously planning revenge on him.
All right, wanna get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts!
Next, we join Jacob Kane and a lawyer for the man who saved Jacob in prison, Reggie Harris, and he basically threatens Jacob that if he doesn't move up the Harris parole hearing, he'll expose some damning evidence that would hurt the Crow organization. Ooh. Don't worry, random lawyer. The only reputations being damaged are the ones belonging to everyone's name who's attached to this abortion of a TV show.
What a story, Mark.
Yeah, you can say that again.
We see Sophie getting ready for her rendezvous with Batwoman, and then we get that moment, and it's absolutely ridiculous that if Sophie and Kate were dating before, that Sophie didn't realize that Batwoman is Kate.
He was a retard.
Our stunning and brave cowled crusader tells Sophie this hath to end, and she should walk away. But Sophie, of course, doesn't want this, and Batwoman and Sophie kiss.
The lesbian!
But just as we start to get invested in this kiss, of course, some scissor-blocking bastard has to interrupt our
Lesbian action!
So someone enters the apartment and Sophie draws her gun. Batwoman leaves, and who is it? It's Sophie's mom. Evening's first victim. The subplot of this episode, and I say subplot because they're more focused on the
lesbian!
Yes, more interested than that subplot of someone is hunting down Gotham's social media mavens. So somewhere in this episode, Mary will become involved in it because plot. She's not just a super secret clinic running doctor in training. She's got a huge Instagram following and tuned into social media in Gotham. Oh yeah, and there's the chick that cut her face in the beginning of the episode with the blade. She's this week's baddie, Duella, who in the comics went on to become the daughter of the Joker, and she's Harvey Dent's niece. There, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Kate goes to visit Mary because she knows all of the potential victims, or as we call them, social media influencers. And it all leads to a plastic surgeon named Dr. Ethan Campbell, who is Mouse's dad in a skin mask disguise. So all of these girls go to him for their nose jobs. Mary volunteers her services to help Kate in finding some clues.
This is all wrong.
Sophie's mom is lecturing her about breaking up with her husband. Oh yeah, remember that she was married to a guy at one point. Then the Batwoman conversation comes up, and the dialogue switches to her mother calling Batwoman a criminal. And Mama says that she supported Batman because he aligned with beliefs and values that she followed. Then Sophie drops her nuke and says, you supported Batman because he wasn't gay.
Gay!
We join Batwoman standing in front of a random car, fixing the hair on her cowl in the reflection of the window. Can you imagine seeing Bale's Batman looking at his ass in the reflection of a car window? Just sitting there looking like, oh, is this right? Sophie meets her, of course, there. And then Sophie goes to visit Dr. Campbell. And then blah, blah, blah. It comes up that Duella Dent, Harvey's niece, went to see Dr. Campbell, who's actually Mouse's dad, for his self-inflicted wounds. Batwoman breaks into her house, finds her hit list, and we're about to get a confrontation between Slashy McSlasherson and Batwoman, but she finds Duella's mom cut up, her face all hacked up, and they squabble for a moment. Duella cuts Mom's throat and runs, and Batwoman, of course, applies pressure to the wound, and we go to a commercial. But now back to Alice plotting her revenge against Mouse's dad. But she's also in the midst of a therapy session with a doctor who she's holding captive. I wonder if that's covered by her HMO. He delivers a spot-on diagnosis of her, and he helps her figure out how to defeat the fear hold that Mouse's dad has over her. And she has him killed because he knows she's alive, and Alice decides to reach out to our slasher Duella for assistance. And his dear old dad, who has him captive in the basement. What a shocker. And his dad tells Mouse that he's killed Alice. Mouse is really upset about this, and Dad goes to putting some unnamed gas on Mouse to do something to him. We don't find out until later. But Batwoman goes to visit Mary about the slasher case, and she helps her find the social media maven who runs a cosmetics truck. But they find her a little too late because the driver's dead. He's a guy, it doesn't matter. Fodder. Sophie shows up, tells her the crows are on their way, so they leave on the bat cycle, but Sophie leaves her car there running with her purse and identification inside of it, so it won't really be hard to find out who she is. Duella, she has Veronica May suspended over a tub of waste in the chemical factory where they make Veronica's cosmetics, and Duella is going to lower her into it, but Sophie and her get into a little tussle. Batwoman saves Veronica as we get Sophie tying up our little Slashosaurus Rex. Sophie and Kate are discussing what happens next in their quote-unquote relationship, and it's more cringy dialogue. And my fucking brain hurts from the exposition that's being spouted here because they believe that the viewers are morons, and I tend to agree. Wait a minute there.
He was a retard.
So our dear little Duella Den is left tied up, and Alice shows up with a business proposition for her. Then we go to Jacob Kane, who's trying to get to the bottom of this Harris case and basically save his own ass. We see Duella at Dr. Campbell's office, but it's really Alice in Duella's face. The GCPD finds Duella tied up, sands her face, of course.
Oh my God!
Sophie and her mom are having coffee, and Sophie gets ready to drop the bomb on Mom with some news. She tells her why she left her husband Tyler. Remember that basic white dude Tyler? Because of Kate and because lesbian.
The lesbian!
Mom yells at her with more exposition about being a woman of color, having to prove herself, then walks out on Sophie because she tells her how disappointed in her she is because of course, lesbians.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
I mean, it's fine if that's who you are.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have many gay friends.
My father's gay.
He visits Kate at her bar, and they go on to talk about how Mary's trusted Kate with the fact that she runs this super secret underground clinic and trusted her with this and trusted her with that. And she hopes that Kate will trust her with this same kind of secrets one day because Alice, when she paid Mary a visit, said that she knows who Batwoman is. And when she found out that Mary didn't know who Batwoman was, she kind of rubbed it in her face a little bit.
That's what she said.
We get Alice, who has Mr. Mouse captive, and we get Rachel Scarston playing some extra crazy right here as she truly delves right into the mess.
I hate you. I hate your guts.
At this point, Alice tells Mr. Mouse that she wants Mouse back, and he laughs hysterically because he has the upper hand here and Alice doesn't even know it. Because he literally has Mouse attached to a container that says fucking fear toxin. And that is literally where we leave this episode. Mouse flailing around with a canister of fear toxin attached to him. Literal canister of fucking fear toxin. I can't do anymore. We're done. Let's take this thing home. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys think of my review? Let me know in the comments below. Please be sure to subscribe and like, as I'm suffering for your sins so you don't have to watch this. There's where you can find us across social media. Be sure to stay tuned because I've got another video coming up. And as I tell you, we've got the podcast tonight, 8:35, big episode. Remember, if I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and sleep tight and don't let the Batwoman bite.